Hello and welcome to the official kit launch of East Belfast GAA's ladies and men's football teams. My name is Niamh Campbell, I play for the ladies football team.
My name's Lee Costello, I'm manager of the ladies football team and I play for the men's senior football team. But today we're your presenters.
We're brought to you by Niavac, who are proudly sponsoring our kit and who are also hosting us in these lovely studios today.
And we're going to talk to lots of people about the kit and about the club, including the legendary Peter Canavan, or as he's more fondly known in Tyrone, Peter the Great.
We're going to show a clip of him now, but when we come back, we'll be joined by the club founders, Richard Maguire and Dave McGreevy, and our club president, Linda Irvine.
Keeps in play into McLean. This is more like it from Tyrone. He turns the defence, still goes. Ball goes across into Canavan, surely.
Hello and welcome back to Niavac Studios, where we are joined by East Belfast GAA's co-founders, Richard Maguire and Dave McGreevy, and our wonderful president, Linda Irvine.
And there's no better place to start than the very beginning. So Dave, you get this question a lot and you get a lot of media attention. So I'm going to ask Richard, how did it all begin from your perspective?
So it all happened one Sunday morning. I was awake very early, as having a young child tend to do, and I looked at my phone and noticed a message from Dave, and I just, he doesn't have kids. I thought he must actually be up all night drinking or something, because he texted me and the message was, "What would you think about a Gaelic club in East Belfast?" So I immediately replied, "You must be smoking something," and so I was. He texted back and said, "No, well, I see some guys with gear, knocking about Orangefield and places like that when I'm out walking." And I said, "Well, sure, sounds like a good idea." And we had a bit of chat about, I'd have to be cross-community and have to be open to everybody. It'd have to be different, it'd have to be... So we had this bit of chat, as you do over WhatsApp, and sort of left it at about 8 o'clock, and then 9:15, obviously David had been working away and getting his Gmail set up and all that type of stuff, and putting a picture of the cranes on Twitter, and the tweet went out 9:15. So that was, first thing on a Sunday morning, and then throughout the rest of the day, I was actually going up to my mum's that day, and I was looking at the phone on the drive down, and Dave was texting me going, "There's like a few guys interested here. This is looking well." And I thought, happy days, I'll maybe not have to play. This is going great. We did think it would be for like an under-10s team or something like that. So we were sort of thinking, well, we'll see who comes forward. And then, we were a few hours later, he was phoning me up and saying, there's a bunch of hurlers here as well. Like there's actually 2 teams. So this is brilliant. Like, who would have thought in East Belfast, all these guys coming forward? And before you know it, later on in the day, it was like there's a camogie team and a ladies football team as well. So within that first day, I think we had, he'll probably tell you there's a couple of hundred retweets. There's over 300,000 interactions on the tweet. Yeah. And the inbox was piling up, and the journalists started phoning, and we were just going, this is madness. Literally madness. So from there then, obviously Linda was one of the first people to tweet support. And I had known Linda through my work in East Belfast Mission, so I said, "There's exactly the type of person that we need to get in." So she was very swiftly asked to join in, and a few other people had come forward. We just said, "If you have any skills or anything, let us know." So from that, a interim board was set up in a couple of days, and then I think it was 7 days later, the club was officially entered in the Down League. So from a Sunday to a Sunday, there was a club with several hundred members, just started like that.
Overwhelming madness. Dave, I know you've said sort of before that you never thought in your wildest dreams that the club would grow to what it is now, because it did literally spawn from that text and that tweet. Because we're a year on now from the club's official founding, what are your new sort of wildest dreams or aspirations for the future of the club?
Keep it. You were very calm by saying there. It wasn't as calm as that. It was like, what are we going to do with all these people writing in? But I suppose plans for the future, just create a vibrant club, create a community, and just the members that come in. I mean, that's the real story. People come in and just really built, made this here club what it is, and I will facilitate as much as I can, but I think it's really just up to the members to direct this here and make it their own, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And Linda, with everything that's going on at the minute with Northern Ireland and tensions are running very high, how important is it that this club embeds itself into the community and we play our part?
I think it's extremely important, and I think one of the things that I've been really in awe of is how the club has been doing that and actually getting involved with the community, trying to, I suppose it's the same as the work I've done with the Irish language, normalise the attitudes that a GAA, why would you not have a GAA club in East Belfast? That's a perfectly normal thing to do, and there's so many people who are interested in doing it, and I suppose one of the things that strikes me whenever Richard was telling the story, and I seen the tweet that morning, and I just filled me with hope, because you think, that this place is changing. And I remember one particular evening I had gone up to the Henry Jones. I was taking up the slithers that we had been presented with. And there were I think it was the men's football team or the men's hurlers, I can't remember, and it was the ladies' camogie team. And I remember just walking across the field and thinking, this is not the East Belfast that I grew up in. This is not the East Belfast that I know. This is just wonderful. So it really does fill me with a sense of hope that life is changing. And I'll add one more wee thing. I remember that Sunday whenever they'd come back and asked me, would I accept to sort of be interested in being president? And I said, well, okay. And I told my husband later on, and he said, no. And I said, well, it's too late, I have. But he also said, no, about an Irish languages too. So there you go. So he's constantly being proved wrong. And I said, yeah, why not?
No, definitely. And then as well, Richard, because as you said before, your day job involves a lot of community work within East Belfast. What is the response that you continue to get now in terms of East Belfast having a GAA club and when they find out about your involvement in it?
It's mixed. I think there's Gaelic never happened in East Belfast before, and even my wife, before she started going out with me, she just didn't know what Gaelic was. It wasn't part of her vocabulary. It wasn't in school. She started going out with me and wondering where I was going a couple of nights a week, and she came up to watch the odd match. And then she went to Queen's, and suddenly there was people wearing all this Gaelic gear. It's almost like it was a different world altogether. So I think for a lot of people in the community, it's something new, and it's something that, it maybe comes with a reputation that they've built up. That's something that it's not, and then you get into explaining that it's actually like we're all about community and we really want to help people, and now we've got like all these really keen members that have like come out of we didn't know all these people. They've just all come together and they want to do so much good. Sometimes I describe it as like a giant ball of energy. Sometimes it's hard keeping the offshoots from wanting to do more and more stuff, but it is just amazing. And so I think in time, I think it's about becoming familiar and letting them see what we're doing, that it's sport and it's enjoyable, and there's people making friends and having fun. There's people from their community joining, and I think that's a big thing as well, is that, there's maybe the perception there's a lot of blow-ins, everyone's coming. But, our surveys show that there's lots of people in the club that come from East Belfast and have never played before and are just giving it a go. And, as I said, they show up and they're rubbish, and they're poor for a while, and then they're getting really into it and they're enjoying it. And there's some people that have come and joined, and then they've actually forced their way onto the first 15. They've just really got the grips with it, and they're like, I wish I'd been playing this for years. So I think once everyone's familiar with it and sees that we're doing good stuff, it'll be much more for them.
Mm-hmm. And if I could put that same question to you, Linda, what's people's initial reaction when they find out that you're involved with the club?
I think some people were very surprised, not in a good way, but I think there was an awful lot more people who contacted me and said, look, this is brilliant, this is fantastic, well done, moi hu. And I see a lot of positivity around it. I see so much positivity around the membership of the club, the growth of the club. I'm exhausted seeing the energy of the club, and there's so much going on and so much they're getting involved in. So again, I think there are a lot of people in East Belfast who have already, started to say, oh right, this is not what I imagined about the GAA, and I think there's a lot more work to be done. But I just think things are changing. Northern Ireland's changing, and this is part of it.
For the better, definitely.
Absolutely.
And Dave, you're a Gaelic football veteran yourself and enjoyed success with London GAA. What, in terms of the immediate future and this season, what would you deem a success for the club, and what do you hope to come in the immediate season?
Winning a match.
For the men's football team?
Men's
you just said
football,
women
okay,
did
right.
win.
Oh, you're getting that in there. Every other code is one apart from men's football.
All right.
But anyway, no, I suppose, it's just keep doing what we're doing. I don't think it's important, leagues and championships. Everyone's just having real good fun and getting to know each other, people you've never met before and you probably would never have met before. And just if we keep that going and keep building this vibrant club.
100%. Guys, thank you very much for being here, but also obviously for starting the club, because without you all and the publicity and the great, energy that you guys have shown in creating the club, we wouldn't be here. We're going to show another clip of Peter the Great, who is yet to come, and then afterwards we will be joined by some of my teammates, Aideen Curran and Leah Lynch.
Jordan, the second throw, Owen Mulligan, Fotseg, Owen Mulligan, Canavan, August Cool, Hampshire, Peter the Great, Scohi Rowan, Hallumad, Rim, on Blisha, nobody is off Owen Mulligan, Kriakon Sko, O Canavan.
Welcome back. So we're joined by Leah and Aideen, who played for us last season for the female team. Aideen, first of all, tell us what made you want to join the club?
Well, obviously always been a great lover of GAA and hadn't played in a good few years, so when the opportunity arose to join East Belfast, it was nearby and just thought it would be a great opportunity to get back into the sport again.
And you, Leah?
Well, considering I hadn't played GAA in years since I left school, and I left school obviously at 16, but then I hadn't played since I left Carridoff at the age of 14, so I thought I'd rejoin back again into a different sport or a different team, which is different to compared to the other team that I have played for, but I really loved it and thought it'd be a better opportunity than what I had had.
What were your expectations like in terms of like how you felt going to the first night of training? Leah, I'll start with you first. What were your expectations going to East Belfast GAA for the first time?
I was dreading it because I didn't know what to expect. But a couple of girls that I actually had known previously, they had already known about it. Then I went along with them because I actually joined, I would say, a couple of weeks after everybody else. So going along with them, I wasn't too sure, just obviously meeting everybody else. And then obviously having played in a long time, I was like, oh God, I'm not going to be the best player of everybody else. But the expectation was pretty good.
What do you think, Aideen? What were you thinking the first night you came?
I had none in terms of myself playing because it'd been out for so long, but I was just glad to get back into the sport and obviously meet new people and actually find the love for it again.
Can we just also point out, sorry, that Aideen is probably up for the runner and the female that has the most yellow cards, the most sendings off in any Gaelic football game I've ever been a part of. But that's a great record to have. It means you care.
It is. Don't let that smile fool you. She's absolutely dangerous.
Demon.
So that was your expectations for training. So, but what happened when you actually did go? How did you feel? Was it good?
Loved it. I couldn't. It's hard to put into words as well whenever you've been out of a sport for so long that you did love and adore, and then you're out of it, and then suddenly you're back in it again with numerous of people from different backgrounds and cultures and just totally different mix of people, and then you do eventually just find your love then for it again. So it was great to be part of it. And
what about you, Leah? You said you were really nervous. Did you feel nervous once you got there? How was it?
Once I got there initially, yes, I was nervous, but once I got into meeting everybody else and different people, as you said, from different backgrounds, different cultures, it was amazing. And I could not wait to go back to the second session and also for the games, which were really good fun.
You've been here with us for the full year anyway, so it's obviously a good sign, as have the majority of people that did join East Belfast GAA. What would you say, Leah, are your goals or objectives for this season or for the future?
To be better, as we always all want to be. As Lee always put in every workout that we have throughout the whole of lockdown, sprints. That is my main. Be better at sprints and burpees because everybody loves a burpee.
What do you think, Aideen? Do you have any objectives for this
Probably less yellow cards.
I was waiting.
It's probably good.
Or maybe more yellow cards, I don't know.
That'd be a tougher feat.
Yeah, probably less yellow cards and just to be able to enjoy it more. Maybe win a couple more games would be great. I think the girls have bonded and gelled a wee bit more than last season, so and that was sort of the wee feeler season, so hopefully now we'll get more wins under our belt and maybe get a wee bit more motivation to try and climb the ranks a wee bit more.
Definitely. Perfect. Do you find whenever people talk to you about, find out that you play for East Belfast GAA, like, do you find that they're really like curious? Do they ask you a lot about it? Do you find like, is the reaction often positive, do you think?
Yeah, I think people love it. I think it's great because it's like, you have a GAA team in East Belfast, it's just the two just have never really sort of mixed before, and obviously for someone to come up and create the group and for it to actually be established as it is and have like the amount of people that we have at training is immense. And I haven't been from the start of the season, but the last couple of training sessions, like we have a waiting list for people to join. So like that just goes to show like how positive it is and how accepting people are of the team in East Belfast.
What do you think, Leah?
Yeah, because considering I'm from Belfast, people are quite shocked that I initially say, oh yes, I play for East Belfast. But then as soon as I tell them, no, it's people, not everyone from Belfast, and they're from everywhere in Northern Ireland, and Ireland, everyone thinks it's amazing. They're just, and obviously at the training, they're obviously the different who has as to where we are training. People would be like, oh, you're travelling far and far, but obviously because we haven't got our home ground yet, so hopefully.
Definitely all positives. Well, I was going to say good luck for the rest of the season. I'm with you too.
Yeah, so we'll still be there.
You're one of our main players, Niamh.
Thanks
so you really need the luck then.
Thanks very much, girls. Now we're going to be talking to the legend that is Peter the Great.
This iconic figure who thrills with his football skills and so comes to an end a long, long way as I present this hand to Peter the Great.
Sean Kelly with the presentation, Peter Canavan with Sam, and Tyrone become the 6th Ulster County to lift the trophy. Tyrone are the 2003 Bank of Ireland football champions.
Welcome back, and I'm delighted to say that Peter Canavan is joining us, and he's sporting our very brand new East Belfast jerseys. Woo. Peter, first and foremost, what do you think?
Not bad. Not enough red and white in it for my liking, but a lovely jersey. It stands out, and I know James, I'm sure, will be very happy with the Niavac branding across it, and it looks very well. So I believe you've no shortage of men and women looking to wear them, so no doubt when they're out on the fields around Belfast and County Antrim, County Down, at least they'll be looking the part.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And Peter, you're of course ambassador for Niavac. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the company?
Yeah, well, first of all, the owner of the company is a good throne man, James Conlon. He's a throne fanatic and has been for a long time. But I suppose I've been using the touchscreens since I started working with Sky. And I suppose James felt there was an obvious connection there. And as a teacher, I'm teaching in Holy Trinity College in Cookstown, and I used to have an old interactive whiteboard that always kept breaking down on me till James came along, and I got involved as an ambassador, and proud to be with Niavac. And now our own school, as any modern school now, would have touchscreens in their classroom. They have replaced the interactive whiteboards. So I suppose it's a natural fit in terms of myself and James. And as I say, with the company that's so innovative and doing and modern and everything that they do, I'm delighted to be associated with them.
100%.
Just watching you with the jersey. I'm going to be playing next year, so this is the first time I've seen it.
I hope you're not wearing that number.
No, I'm a strong number 29, at least. But I've always wondered, for county players in particular, what's it like? Do you really anticipate when new jerseys are coming out? You know, like I'm just thinking of the WJ Dolan one in 2003 and stuff. Because you know the jersey that's coming out is what you got to wear on the pitch in front of 80,000 people and all the TV stars. How much does it actually mean to the players?
It's funny you should say that, because I'm involved obviously in Holy Trinity and coaching all the teams there. And at the start of every year, that's the question that the boys all say, sir, are we getting a new jersey? Because they're all into their jerseys and they love them. And I would be repeatedly, boys, it's not about the jersey. Don't worry about the jersey. It's what's inside the jersey. But when I was a player myself, of course I did. I was, if you're into sport, you're into jerseys and with other teams. So it is important. And funny, it was one of the things that Mickey Hart did, be it at club and county level. It was a trait that I don't know whether he started himself or where he's seen it, but at half time, at the end of every game that we played, every player came in one at a time, folded their jersey and set it in, because he said, you respect the jersey that you play in, and if you think anything of it, you'll treat it with respect on and off the field. So he says, when you get the jersey, it's tidy, it's well presented, it's new. He says, the least you can do when you're on the pitch is to do it proud, but when you come, don't throw it in a heap and expect somebody else to pick it up after you. So it's something that we developed years ago with Mickey, and now I do it with all my own football teams. And I think it instills good values in the lads and lassies that wear them, and it makes it a bit easier for the managers trying to get them back in the bag and count numbers again too. So what happens now with the school, one of the lads will shout, right, I'll do the jerseys, and he'll count 1 to 28 or 1 to 30, and you know that every jersey's in order in the bag. So that's just a wee story about Mickey from a few years ago.
That's it. Lee is our ladies team coach now, so thanks for that. We're going to have to start.
That's what they'll be
doing. Don't come in
doing.
and throw them in a heap.
No, absolutely
organising.
not. Sorry, just when you're talking on the jersey, because you did reveal that you're excited when they're coming out and stuff. If you had to pick, I'm going to press you, one Tyrone jersey to wear during your whole era, what would be your favourite?
That's a good question. I suppose the one that I wore in 03 would have to be my favourite, but look, I was happy to wear any of them. I wouldn't say it was that particular. I felt I played better in any jersey than the other. As long as there was a red hand on it, I was happy enough.
It's fair.
Good answer. I know, Peter, your club now is Ergal Kieran, but a long time ago before that, you were part of a breakaway club that ended up forming Ergal Kieran. So we know you know yourself what it's like to be part of a new club, and the challenges that might come with that. What would your advice be to our club now, or how important do you think football is for the community in terms of bringing people together? Because I know obviously football was so important in Ballygawley, and I think your breakaway club ended up playing like 9 years just challenge games because everyone just wanted football that much. How important do you think that is to help the East Belfast community come together?
Yeah, well first of all, there is similarities, you're quite right, and when Ergal was coming together and forming, there was plenty of detractors and people that felt it wouldn't work, you weren't going to do anything, and they would have been glad to see it fall apart. Within 2 years of forming, we went on to win the Tyrone Championship. We went on to win the Ulster Championship, the first Tyrone club to win an Ulster club title. So that was our answer to those that didn't think we were going to work. And what it did do, the club coming together again and forming Ergal, was that I think everybody in the parish realised how important football is to us. And whenever the club did get back together again, football was taken as serious as ever it was in the club, and with a different mentality about how we did things. So it was refreshing, and it paid dividends. In terms of East Belfast, the club here, do they have their detractors? They certainly do. There would be people who would love to see this project fail. But knowing the people that's involved in it and the people that's involved behind it, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's a really good news story in the world of GAA, in the world of sport, and this part of the island. It's a real good news story. So I think while, as I say, when I say detractors, they're very much in the minority. And just listen to you speak, and the enthusiasm that the people, you and the people around you have for the club is obvious that it's going to be a success. And success is not measured by titles or what you win, but the very fact is the numbers that you speak about is out of training and that want to play our game. I think it's fantastic. And in years to come, I'm sure you will win titles and things, but look, it's early days yet. Enjoy being able to get out and play our game, and hopefully the club will go from strength to strength.
And one of the things about our club and what makes it so unique is that we have a whole collection of people who'd never played the sport before, and then what I've discovered is a whole group of people who maybe left the sport as like a teenager or in their early 20s, and now they're coming back to it. They see this as an opportunity to return to Gaelic football or hurling or camogie or whatever. What would you say to the people who are sitting at home watching this who are maybe on the fringes?
Give it a go. Simple as that. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But how are you going to know unless you go and try? I think it's disappointing, and it's an aspect of our game, I suppose, is that there's not enough recreational football. So for a lot of players that maybe don't make their senior team or feel that they're not good enough, often when they get to the age of 30 or 30 plus, they end up going playing golf or some other sport. So there's not enough recreational football. It's nearly all about winning and competing. Whereas obvious here, you have people beginning, learning. And after what we've gone through and the pandemic and whatnot, the advantages of getting out and taking part in a sport at all, but a team sport where you're mixing with people. So there's obvious physical, mental and social benefits that accrue from it. So I'd be surprised, and again, I'm aware that the coaching has been very good in the club. So I'd be very surprised that there was people that joined and started and they wouldn't want to go back again. So there's a very positive vibe there so far, and you'd have to think that get out and give it a go, and if you like it, you'll definitely come back.
Thanks very much, Peter. Thanks for being with us today and the kind words. And I just want to point out that one of the men's footballers, Ian Lennon, every time he has a drink, he puts the 0-3 final on. So you are still affecting people across Tyrone and East Belfast today. And just in case anyone didn't know what Peter Canavan can do, here's another clip to show you.
Feeding Peter Canavan. Canavan turning batty. Just 2 feet. What an advantage it is to a footballer, being able to kick with both feet well. That is one of the greatest assets in the game.
Welcome back, and we are here with the kit launch, the grand reveal, and of course you have Peter Canavan and owner of Niavac, James Conlon, kindly modelling it for us. James, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Love the colours, love the design. Beautiful.
Thanks for sponsoring us very much, by the way. I must say I'm very pleased with myself, so thank you.
And Peter, just seeing you again in the jersey.
Good job. It's not small. Bit disappointed that they've given the same age that I am, but anyway, we'll say nothing about that.
And is this really just confirm the rumours that you're going to come back and start coaching us? Is that?
Yeah, we need to get that house sorted just first of all, but as soon as we get that, anything's possible.
Lovely. Well, thanks very much. Thanks again, Peter, for joining us, and thanks, James, and of course, Niavac, for sponsoring us. And thanks, everyone, for watching. To play us out now is one of our esteemed hurlers and musicians, Stevie McErlean, who's going to play a bit of Van Morrison. Thank you.
When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. When everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. When you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Well, I must remember there'll be days like this. When you don't need no answers, there'll be days like this. When you don't meet a chancer, there'll be days like this. And all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. Well, I must remember there'll be days like this. And everyone is up front, and they're not playing tricks. When you don't have no freeloaders out to get their kicks. When it's nobody's business the way that you wanna live. I just have to remember there'll be days like this. No one steps on my dreams. There'll be days like this. When people understand what I mean, there'll be days like this. When you ring out the changes of how everything is. Well, I must remember there'll be days like this. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. my mama told me there'd be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'd be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'd be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'd be days like this.